Okay, sorry about that, everyone. For some reason, I'm not sure what happened to the stream. So we are obviously back up and going. Hopefully chat works out and everything's working. So I guess someone didn't like me speaking poorly about the ADA. Now, I'm not sure how to access different profiles, because it says you can choose profiles, but I see no way. If I go new game, I lose my work. So anyways, getting back to the ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act. The reason I hate it, well, I don't hate it, but there's a number of people are abusing the Americans with Disabilities Act by suing businesses, and the people who are suing, hey, how you doing, Pi? Yeah, I got I changed the resolution of where I stream at. Actually on my display, I changed my resolution to 1080 instead of 4K. And I'm trying that. I'm gonna see if I like how that works. How you doing today? Bye, long time. Hopefully you're doing well. Yeah, that was a neat trick. I unscrewed two at once. Okay, now I'm not sure if these are spaced perfectly. We'll find out. So yeah, the reason I don't like the ADA is that there is a group of disabled individuals who have been going through the state the last 25 years suing companies. Let's see if these are spaced out. No, that last one I can tell you is not spaced out. No. It's too close. Crap. And they've sued businesses for accessibility violations instead of trying to work with the business. They've just gone straight to suing them. Well, we bought a house, we took all the walls out, cleaned it up, cleaned the windows, put in the walls for a kitchen and a storage. So you haven't missed too much. It's gonna be a short stream. Streamed for, whoops, of course, streamed for over 7 hours yesterday, doing the 1 year anniversary of Gold Rush. So, doing a short stream today. Yeah, I just wanted something that I was looking for a kind of a chill stream, and House Flipper is it's not mentally nor physically draining. So yeah, after 7 hours straight. Well, yeah, no, I mean, I understood. You know, I knew you weren't gonna watch that, which is fine. But I'll probably, well, more likely I'll do the same thing with this game when it hits the 1 year mark. If the developers are still supporting it and the game is still growing. I gave away a complete version of Gold Rush yesterday, so hopefully this game, hopefully I could be talking fondly of this game in a year, or when it reaches its 1 year anniversary, and praise it for the continued support from the developers. At least that's my hope. Both the games, in their own way, fill a void in the gaming community. This game, obviously, all those who want to build homes and design, it kind of helps. Like I've said before, until now, people have had to play The Sims. Okay, now I could have put another sink. I could have spaced them out. We have 3 toilets. The other bathroom I had to modify. It's basically the same thing. I think these are spaced closer. So, we got a kitchen. Of course, they always want in and outdoor. We're gonna have this as like a ice, like a walk-in fridge. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. And of course, over here, this is gonna be dry storage, linen, stuff like that for the tables. So yeah, we're gonna eventually, this is gonna be a restaurant. Now I'm trying to figure out what kind of restaurant I want this to be before I choose the color to paint the walls. As we all know, restaurants, the type of restaurant dictates the colors and all that people use. Okay, I'm gonna go in here and I have to open at least one of these to get the flooring in. We'll probably go with something basic. Just a nice white tile. Okay, now this is gonna be interesting. So we'll definitely be picking paint soon. This one should be much easier. There we go. Actually, I should just do that. There we go. Oh, wow. Kind of surprised that no one's, what about the, I forget, the person's name that you said always, is he still streaming this? Okay, we got this. It's I've pre-ordered Farm Simulator 19. So yeah, I'll be streaming that for sure. Now I know I'm going with simple white, but you know this is a restaurant. Um, they don't go for. Actually, I should have went all the way. Yeah, I love farms. Oh, you. No one. Oh wow! So even the one you spoke about, that was creating different unique houses. That's that's surprising. That's kind of sad. I mean, I can understand why. Okay, now this is gonna be the main. Um, I can definitely understand. Yeah, maybe, but you know, I mean, I hate to see. And here's the problem: if people stop streaming this game, this is what I have down. If people stop streaming this game, it's gonna die a quick death. In my opinion. Okay, let's get this. Let's see if this is gonna work. Yeah, this might work. So, I mean, like I was saying yesterday about streamers having a responsibility, and that goes for a responsibility for existing games as well. You know, streamers do have a unique responsibility to try to, you know, if it's a game they like, they need to try to continue to breathe life into the game, um, in my opinion. Otherwise, if the streamers aren't doing this, then the game will fail. And I hate saying that, but it's just true. It just whoops. It's just like I was saying. Just like with Gold Rush in the beginning, the developer had problems. Now I did this, I'm not sure I like it. You know, the game had problems, and a number of large streamers really trashed the game, and never came back and gave the game a second chance. And of course, my chat window isn't working again. Let me see if I can fix that. I tell you, I've had so many problems with my chat window. Let me try something. But yeah, I mean, I do take streaming seriously. And getting back to my example of Gold Rush, um, you know, a lot of streamers in the beginning, the game was released before it really should have been. Okay, well, that's working. So, why doesn't it show? It's not showing YouTube. So what happened in my opinion, what happened. Let me see if this works. Okay, no, it's, well, maybe. Okay, it's working. So what happened, in my opinion, is these streamers, called it garbage, trash, all this other stuff. Never gave the game a second chance, and it's. I look at streamers in a similar way as I look at food critics. Now, if a food critic says a restaurant, the quality of food in a restaurant is poor, it's going to affect that restaurant's business. I mean, it might not be, um, it might not be, you know, it might not kill the business, but it will affect it. Streamers have the same streamers can have the same effect. If a streamer says a game is trash, they have, especially the large streamers, and those are the ones I'm referring to. If they say a game is trash, their viewers, are loyal to them. They're gonna listen. And I have one rule with restaurants, and I use this for gaming as well. I will always give a place 2 chances before I give up. If I have a bad meal at a restaurant, I will always go back at least one other time and give them a chance. Maybe it was just a bad day. I mean, you never know. If you get 2 bad meals from a place, and more times than not, yeah, you probably just don't like that kind of food or that means of preparation. Same with games. Games are constantly evolving, or they should be, until most of the problems are rectified. Okay, let me see what we can do. So, and as far as, a game like this, I might have this like a reception area. Maybe do this as a reception area and then have all these seats. Gardens, the gardens they will allow me to hopefully, I'm not sure if it will allow me to extend the deck. If it does, I can have like outside eating areas. Yeah, I know. That's why I was looking at the floor and saying, I just did this, and yeah. Yeah, you remember when I did this, and I just did this, and I don't really like it. Yeah, it's only money, right? Let me see. Now, if that comes out that color, that might be fine. Actually, that might not be bad. That's a nice medium. Actually, I like this better. Because it has your darks and lights, so it kind of brings everything together. Yeah, if you remember when I put that floor on this, I'm not really happy with it. Okay. So yeah, as far as the, oh wait, I can't go that far. getting back to the ADA issue, I should have went one more. These individuals, have a list, and they're happy to give you a list of these businesses that are not accessible. And what they do is they basically go on and threaten lawsuits. And most businesses are so afraid of the Americans with Disabilities Act that they'll settle out of court. They'll settle even if it means losing their business, which some have. That person that does this ends up buying brand new accessible vans, new houses, stuff like this. And because they spend the money, it doesn't affect their government assistance, Social Security, medical insurance, other things like that. Because according to the law, when you sue someone, what the money you receive is considered reimbursement. And if you have government assistance, you have the way the government assistance is set up is if it's a reimbursement of any nature, you have X amount of days or months to spend that money back down. I think you're allowed to have like $2,000 to $3,000 in savings and checking, stuff like that. So as long as you spend it down, you can keep suing all the people you want. And that's how these people are getting homes and vehicles and all that. And it's just disgusting to me. I've actually fought many years to get laws changed that require that prior to taking any kind of legal action, they have to try to work with the business to address the accessibility issue. I just think it's disgusting. I've had some good people I've known. I mean, there's a place called Merle's, which was a 50s diner in the town I went to high school. And those people were so nice. I would go in there, they'd actually cut my hamburger in half, and so nice. They were they got sued. The year before they had a fire. They came out of that barely afloat. The next year, this person from the Sacramento area, which goes throughout the state of California, sues different businesses. That person went, and in that particular case, that person said, I couldn't get to a particular table I wanted to sit at. They take legal action. The couple got scared and settled, and their business was no more. And I really wish I would have known them well enough to advise them. A couple of years after that, a restaurant was sued because, and I kid you not, the mirror in the restaurant was 1 inch too high. If it were just 1 inch lower, it would have been fine. It's like, the Americans with Disability Act wasn't created with that in mind. It was created to give those with disabilities a fighting chance for employment, etc. And instead, too many have taken it, to be a a cash grab, so to speak. Okay, we want to put any good restaurant has a hostess table or something. This depends. Oh well. Actually, I'm kind of tossed what I should do. I think I should get my kitchen ready. Actually, too bad they don't have this huge. Just huge refrigerators. Okay, we're gonna see. But yeah, like I've said, I've been approached by these groups offering me lists of places that have issues with accessibility. They give you a list of businesses and a list of lawyers that are more than happy to take on these easy money cases. So hopefully that's coming to an end. Okay, we need. Actually, I'm not sure I'm gonna put a shelf in there. Well, that's interesting. Doesn't even have a. This doesn't seem to have a. Huh. Oh, it does. No, okay, I see. Okay, so we're gonna put this in the. We're gonna set these up here. Yeah, hopefully my fellow streamers oh, this isn't gonna work, is it? Actually, they'll be fine with two. This is the linen. You know, you always need something for the tables. And unfortunately, we can't put labels for men's and women's. We will put window treatments in here eventually. We'll have to be blinds in the bathrooms. Oh man. I'm not going to put a curtain here. I wanted to put curtains. Oh, wow. Barely. Okay, so that will work. Okay, so I'm going to put curtains throughout here. Let's see if we can find a curtain that kind of looks nice. Oh yeah, that's true too. Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. Okay, now I need to figure out what kind of restaurant I want this to be so I can start with a color scheme. I think I might just, I don't know. I think this could be a generic. Just a chef decided to buy a house, have it rezoned for a business, which that happens in the United States quite often. So we want colors that are not going to be too bright. Whoops. I don't know why I keep hitting buy. So, we don't want, well, I guess, okay, with that in mind, since we know we're going to have like basically we're going to have um, just a basic, maybe like a breakfast lunch type, or maybe fine dining dinner. I don't know. But it's going to be I guess we can say it's going to be a upper class. So let's go to paint. My favorite part of the game. Not sure why, I just love painting. The downside is I don't know what colors. I'm always brought back to the same colors. My new favorite color is the light biscuit. You know what? Let me see. I'm gonna buy one. I'm just gonna see if that's gonna do well in. It might be a little darker than I want. I don't necessarily want white walls. Let me see. That could pass as a fine dining color. Let's see. Now, if we were doing Mexican food or something like that, we could go with brighter colors and be more festive, all that good stuff. But since we're kind of going with more of a fine dining experience, we want more elegant. Yeah, let's put dark blue. We want you want it more elegant and dark. You don't want dark colors. You want something common. You want common colors, something to calm the body, calm the mind, relax the person. Let me see. We're gonna check out this light vanilla. Just to compare. Whoever, I like to meet the person who named this color. That's not light vanilla. Oh man. Okay, let's go back to the top. That's funny. Light vanilla. Light vanilla on my rear end. You're out of here. That's like a dark brown if you ask me. That does look more copper. So at least that, they got that name pretty spot on, I think. No. Too dark. Now, is this too light? See, yeah, that's too light. I haven't played this in, well, actually I played it last week, I believe. You know what? Is this the one I just did? No. Let me try this last. Yeah, let's put a wall up. I think this is too light. Oh wait. Yeah. That's the one I didn't like. Good going, Wolf. Okay, I've been kind of looking at that one. Hmm. I'm not sure about that one. That almost looks like a pistachio green. Okay, let's see. One last color. And you know what? Some of these, the color comes out looking like the can, you know, you know what? I think I found my color. Yep, I think I found my color. I really like to go with that light biscuit, which is this, but I've done that so often. So we're gonna go with this, if I can remember. We're gonna go with neutral beige. Okay, so I'm gonna buy a number of these cans. It's gonna take, I think it's gonna take a lot. Okay. And like I said, I love painting. It's to me, painting in this game is, for lack of a better word, it's kind of therapeutic. At least for me, it just relaxes me so much. It's calming. Obviously, it doesn't take any thought once you choose a color, that is. But yeah, it's, if you're looking for an activity that just relaxes you, at least in game. Real life, I don't think painting will be that relaxing. But pick up a paint roller in the game and pick a color and paint a room, paint a house, and just see how it changes, how the room looks. The transition is remarkable, in my opinion. I might have bought too much paint. We'll find out. Kind of, I mean, it kind of tones down the white, I think. Now, I'm not gonna paint. Yeah, I did. I said I'm not gonna paint. I just accidentally did. I'm not sure what I'm gonna paint the outside yet. One thing both my wife and I love to do is when we travel, it's not, we don't like going places for the touristy spots. Like when we go to the coast, I mean, I lived in Monterey area, so for me, it's like going home. But we don't go to the wharf necessarily. You know, we like we like going to restaurants. That's what we love doing. When we go to Vegas, we don't go to Vegas to gamble. We go to Vegas to experience the restaurants. I mean, that's what we love doing. And let me tell you, if you want to experience fine dining, Vegas is a great place to experience fine dining without breaking the bank. You know, my wife and I just love different food. And you know, I will always try any food a few times, prepare different ways before I say, ew, never. Just like Brussels sprouts. Growing up, I hated Brussels sprouts. You know, but what we don't realize, why do we hate things like Brussels sprouts? It's not because we don't like Brussels sprouts. It's probably more than likely the way it was prepared. My mom did it the old traditional way, you know, basically. Yeah, I think this is looking good too. My mom did Brussels sprouts you know, the usual boiled it, kind of made it kind of soft. And one thing I can't I can't stand mushy vegetables. Ugh. So, you know, my wife had to bias against Brussels sprouts too. So, being the adventurous soul that I am, we were at a nice restaurant and I saw uh, Brussels sprouts on the menu, and I think they were like roasted or something like that, or fried. I think they were roasted. And I said, no, you know, let's give it a try. And she agreed. And we both actually liked it quite a bit. So, this goes to show that you can't always take your childhood experiences and decide indefinitely that you hate something. You know, it is quite possible that parents, you know, they'll make food a certain way because that's the only way they know, and we shouldn't be so close-minded, not only with food. I think that's something you can apply to life overall. Don't be so close-minded. It's even like a lot of people can't stand sushi. And yeah, before I tried sushi, I said, ew, you gotta be nuts. Eating raw fish. Tried sushi. Turns out I like sushi. I think it's gonna be like a fine dining, like 4 p.m. and after. So it's gonna be kind of a more elegant. So, yeah, I'm not sure what kind of food. Usually it's probably, I'm thinking it's probably gonna have a little French influence. Yeah, it's kind of strange. A lot of fine dining tends to be influenced by French cooking a little bit. I do love how food these days is taking elements from that, like French style cooking. It's combining styles, and I love that. You know, it's not your parents' French cooking, I guess you could say. It's just, yeah, it's a French cooking. It's a combination. Um, I forget where we were, but we had. It was like French influenced Mexican food. And that might sound strange, but it was good. That's why I love living. That's why I love living in areas that has diverse cultures, because you can combine those cultures and makes for some good food. And one thing I absolutely love are those shows that show people traveling all over the world, sharing food with people of different cultures. I know Mr. Zimmerman, he did, oh gosh, what was it? His original series, he was eating foods that most people, was it, ew, bizarre foods, I think it was. And he would go around the world and, eat, you know, foods that people around the world eat. Some were insect-based foods. In Asian countries, there was, I think one of them that he couldn't even eat was a certain type of fish, I think it was. Actually, that's not bad. I think we chose well. That's a nice, not sure if I'm gonna paint the kitchen and the bathrooms that color. Actually, wait, no, I take it back. When I've gone to restaurants, well, they usually paint the whole place. Oops. Not sure what I'm gonna do. I think I bought too much paint, which is kind of sad. But actually, since we're selling the paint before it runs out, we're actually kind of ahead of the game. The only thing that I wish they would kind of touch base with this, and it's something that in the real world, you really, in the real world, in kitchens and bathrooms in particular, you go with like a semi-gloss, which is easier to clean, especially in the kitchen. So I wish they kind of had something like that, but it would visually be hard to really notice. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna go with this color in the kitchen. I don't want to go white. White is so plain. For 30 years I lived in an apartment that the walls were always white. It's like, yes, we've shown. Yeah, no, I had that discussion with myself earlier. I was gonna make this a uni bathroom or make a bigger stall, but I guess I decided not to do that. Just the kind of, boy, I don't have these toilet paper rolls even at all. Just in defiance of those who have forced businesses closed due to ADA issues. So I think I decided not to make accessible toilets, which all that would be in the game is one. Well, it's not necessarily the door. is, I mean, technically um, I could have just put a wall out this way and this way just to make this stove bigger, and it would have been considered more accessible. I mean, obviously the game doesn't have rails in it, so you can't really do that. So, yeah, it's like I just decided, this is an old house, so I decided to kind of tell my fellow disabled folks out there that do sue companies or businesses, screw them. I don't believe in what they're doing. So, I might have it might have been better if I had painted this before. Well, no, I guess this will be okay. Like I was mentioning early in my stream, and I don't think anyone was around to hear it. Hearst Castle, which is here in California, towards the coast. Just basically a beautiful mansion. A disabled person decided to take legal action against Hearst Castle, and they ended up putting an elevator into place. So those with disabilities could go up to the second floor. Now, when I went to Hearst Castle in, I want to say I went there in 83. What they did for me in 83 is they took a camcorder, went up to the areas I couldn't go, and recorded it in detail for me. And I found that to be extremely kind and acceptable. But now that they put a elevator in a historic building, children are going to go there now and say, okay, well, they had elevators way back when they built the house. So it takes away, to me, there's a time that you need to try to make things accessible. But then there's cases where leave good enough alone. I'm sorry, you just have to get to the point and be at peace knowing that there's some places you just can't go. I know that sounds harsh, but that's from a person that's been disabled in a powered wheelchair for most of my life. So it's not like I'm, new at this. I've lived around the country, I've lived in other countries as well, and I adapt to my environment. I don't expect my environment to always adapt to me. And so I guess too many people these days want everything, I don't know, they want everything to cater to them. Okay, I'm toying with the idea of painting the... Yeah, okay, I think I will. Because I was just thinking, if I paint these restrooms a different color, I believe restaurants, for the most part, especially if they're like a fine dining experience, I believe they try to keep their colors uniform throughout. Yeah, and it was so interesting. When I lived in Germany, um, I would have, especially the older Germans, you know, they would say, hey, look, Hitler missed one, you know, stuff like that. And there was always those real high curves, you know, like 2 feet high at some points. And now they have some of the most accessible hotels and things like that in the world. In England and, you know, all those countries are actually surpassing the United States, which shame on the U.S. But that said, I don't think that I don't think it's, how should I say it without sounding too cold-blooded against my own you know, against fellow disabled. I don't think it sends the right message when you're always trying to cater and pamper to someone's every need. I think at some point you have to say, well, we've done a lot to help you out, but you need to learn to adapt to your environment a little bit. It's a give and take. It's not all take. So I don't know if that makes sense. But most of my life I had to adapt to my environment. And I did just fine. And I think it made me a better person, actually. Oops, missed a spot. But I am thankful for, you know, all the, you know, the making things more accessible. But I don't believe the way you show the appreciation for that is to see businesses that have not gotten to that point. And, you know, I was thinking what would be fun, make each one of these stalls a different color. If this were like more of a fun restaurant, I think I would. That'd be kind of cool. So we have to get the reception desk. Wow, there's still a lot to do. More than likely, I will not get to everything today. Like I said, this is more of a chill stream. That's pretty good. I was able to paint this 2 parts here without even facing it. The magic paintbrush. But yeah, like a Pi said, I think as soon as they come up with the garden DLC or update, I'm not exactly sure if it's gonna be a DLC or update. This update, but I think that'll renew streamers' interest. So. Like I said, I just wanted a chill stream, and this is fairly relaxing. Okay, why is my stream? I'm not sure if this is doing it for other people, but my stream is stuck on the curtains. Now it just switched back. That was weird. I noticed that on my YouTube part of my stream, it does that from time to time. Oh, come on. Okay. One restroom done, one to go. want to start working on. I know I need to get the kitchen going, but I need to start working on the tables. You know what? Time to get a new thing of paint. It's a good idea to sell your paint before it runs out, because if it runs out, you can't sell it. But if you, I mean, it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of a shady area, I suppose. But the game allows it, so we'll just take advantage of it. I just look at it as a special deal we have with a paint distributor. Since we are loyal customers, they give us a far better deal. Yeah, that's the way we explain that one away. I guess that those years of being on the debate team in high school still come in handy. It's all about think on your feet, or in my case, think on my rear end. You know, sometimes it seems like the paint goes quite far. Other times it's like, really? Yeah, see, it doesn't seem like it's going as far. And like I've said many, many times before, you will never hear me say, you just have to buy this game or that game, or you're nuts if you don't. I think any streamer, okay, I think any streamer that does that is really doing a disservice. And yeah, you have to question their motives, because that kind of becomes more like a peer pressure type situation, in my opinion. The only thing I will tell people is if I'm getting my money's worth out of a game, and if I'm, enjoying it, and I do have a system for determining if a game is worth the money I spent. Basically, I set my system up to, for example, you can say you have to get 25 cents per hour of gameplay. So if a game is $50, you have to get 200 hours of gameplay before you can really call a game worth the money. Now, unfortunately, that system is flawed, because I think I just drained that. Because how are you going to know if you're going to get 200 hours out of the game until you buy it? So yeah, there's no foolproof way of determining if a game is really worth it until after you've taken the plunge. I will say that what I almost did a boo-boo. I will say that one tool I use is YouTube, obviously, if I'm curious, I will go on to YouTube. Let me just make sure it's all painted. And I will watch a little bit of the gameplay. Now, that said, you shouldn't watch too much of the gameplay. If you watch too much of the gameplay, you get to the point of saying, okay, well, I've basically seen the whole game. Why should I even buy it now? And that happened to me somewhat recently. And yeah, I kind of felt like I cheated myself out of a possible interesting experience. So, I gotta install a light in here. So yeah, just be careful. But everyone's financial situation is unique. So, you know, when I lived in an apartment, I basically had my system set 50 cents an hour. So $50 game, I need 100 hours of gameplay. Now that we have our first house, and I'm still trying to get used to the big payments, I won't say I'm panicked about being able to afford the house, but I am cautious. So that's why I set it to 25 cents. And you know, it's obviously everyone's financial situation is different, so you can kind of tailor the system to your particular situation. And that's another reason why I don't think streamers should be telling viewers, you have to buy this game. It's like, unless that streamer is going to buy it for you, they shouldn't be telling you to do anything. I think a lot, man, I hate that I keep hitting my mouse wheel. I think a lot of streamers, you know, to be fair, they get so caught up in the game. It's like it's like, oh, this is great, and they want to share that that good feeling that the game gives them, kind of like a drug. Not really, but I think the point is valid. Oh man, I think I just wait. Okay, now if you use up all the paint in your can, you cannot sell it for 13 or sell it for, you know, almost the entire price. Okay, I still had paint. So you just have to be careful not to use up all the paint. If you use up all the paint, you're obviously not gonna get anything back. Now this isn't all the painting we have to do. We still have to paint the outside. Right now the outside has siding on it. I don't like siding. It takes so long to put up. I wish they had their siding set up like they have the floor, where you just basically drag, or you click and then you kind of drag it across the surface you want to cover. So after this, we'll paint the outside. We want to make the outside a little colorful to kind of stand out. Okay, the entire inside is finished. Now, in case I make a mistake, I'm gonna put this in the storage room for now. There we go. Okay. And I know I still need a front door Too bad they don't have, you know what? I'm gonna put the glass door here as well. It's really it's not the perfect solution, but it is, I think it's fairly close. There we go, go right to the edge. Actually, now that we've done that, we need to paint. Actually, we might have enough here. Yeah, see, magic brush, you can paint through surfaces. We got right behind that, we got right behind that frame. It's pretty incredible. Okay, I think we got it. Okay. I know it's kind of weird to have a glass door, but remember, this is supposed to be a restaurant in a community. Okay, so now some of you might be saying, okay, the siding looks fairly good, which it does, I suppose, but we want this to stand out. So what color shall we paint this? Wow, this is a big house. It takes up most of the side to side and back. And just take a moment to look at the graphics. Now, I have the video settings turned as high as they possibly can. But, wait, that thick, that's a little frightening. How is the whole tree swaying? Look at that. It's gonna come out of the ground. It's swinging too much. It's swaying. It's gonna come down and hit my roof. I was about to remark on just how realistic the game is until I noticed that the whole tree, all the trees sway. It would take a lot stronger wind than what we're seeing here to make the whole tree move like these are moving. But with that, you know, just look at, I mean, all the trees move. I think the next level of detail, and perhaps this will happen with the new cards, that the 2080 RTX 2080, I believe they are. You might actually see various parts of trees move in the future, but that's going to be dependent on the developers. You know, that takes a lot of coding to add that ability. So now that we've admired the fog, the trees, yeah, look at the smog. That's from all the dirty vehicle exhaust and nasty, ugh. It's so interesting. Whenever we go to the coast, like I said, Monterey areas, I consider that kind of going home. But when we come back over the mountains into the valley has at times, and various times of the year, especially summer, you'll come over the mountain from Morro Bay, Monterey, almost anywhere from the coast, and you'll come over that last hill going down into the valley, and you'll see a blanket of yellowish, clouds. It's covering the valley. And it's kind of sad, just to think that, we're all breathing that in and day out. Whereas at the coast, that pollution has somewhere it can go. In valleys like we live in, we're surrounded by mountains, so unless you get a really good wind, it's not going anywhere. Okay, what shall we paint the outside? Now, with restaurants and businesses, the way you attract people is to catch their eye, obviously. So you want something that kind of stands out, kind of bright, but not blindingly bright, and you don't want to upset your neighbors too much either. So let's see if we can find a color that's not too offensive to the neighborhood, because remember, you have to consider property values. What you do to your house is going to affect the value of people around you. So if you're the kind of neighbor that never does yard care and has a jungle as a yard, you're reducing the value of your neighbors' homes, unknowingly probably. Now, this neighborhood that I'm in now, in this game, since we're putting a restaurant in, the unfortunate part, and that's why we have to get zoning permits to do this, it does affect the value of the homes around. And when when you're trying to put a business into a residential area, the neighbors, everyone in the neighborhood has a right to speak their mind in front of the city council before they make a decision. So in this case, obviously, we've gotten our way. The neighbors reluctantly, well, it wasn't reluctantly, they didn't get their way. They lost their plea. Like with most things in politics, we paid the politicians off, and they saw things our way. So again, screw the voter. Hello, money. Okay, so you know what? Just kind of as a nod towards Pi and towards myself, let's see a faded lemon. We both like faded lemon. It's a nice color. And faded lemon is something that I have used in the kitchen in the game quite a bit. Okay, I'm just gonna buy 4. I probably will need more than that, considering the size of the house, but we can always buy more. Okay, so actually, let me grab this paint. I'm gonna start at this end over here. And yeah, once the gardening update or DLC, I'm not sure if it's a DLC or update. Once that comes out, that's gonna give a renewed. There we go. Now, you might have noticed what I noticed. Look, if you just go over it slightly, it just changes the color a little bit. Wouldn't that be nice if we could just do that much? But since if it's too close, it automatically just covers it. Okay, wait, where's my paint? Where's the paint? Start cussing. Where is the paint? What? Reminds me of the show Frasier. What's his name? He did the sports on their fictitious radio station. and he was always misplacing stuff. It's like, where'd it go? And why did, I start cussing because, someone supposedly stole it. And they say, oh, there it is. It's not high enough to need scaffolding, but the game now does offer that option. Yeah, it was kind of sad. They have a number of two-story homes in this game, and until recently there was no way. Yeah, Bulldog, thank you. Yeah, it's like, what to paint? Who stole it? I do like Frasier. I still watch Frasier, to be honest. It's amazing how that character, Kelsey Grammer, has been very fortunate. That character was supposed to just be on one or two episodes of Cheers, and people really enjoyed, really liked the character well enough for the character to survive. So yeah, and that's been the case in a number of shows. If you look back at MASH, if you look at Klinger, for instance, the guy that was always trying to get out of military service due to being crazy, he was only in the script to be on one or two episodes. Whoa, look at that. Hey, are we starting to see? Are you seeing what I'm seeing, Pi? Look at this. We can't do anything with it yet, but they've kind of tipped their hand a little bit. Yes, now that I've seen a little bit, now I'm going to go all around and see what else I can highlight. Okay, that's about it, but that kind of gives some of it away. So when that update comes out or DLC comes out, well, that's going into the house, okay. So all of these, that's interesting. And as it is now, I don't know if you remember, but we never used to be able to put the paint on the sidewalk. So that's been changed as well. So yeah, we're starting to see little indications. Let me get over here. I'm not going to get scaffolding there. Actually, I might have to. Yep, it looks like we will have to, which is interesting. No. I'm gonna keep. So, what am I doing? So yeah, the game kind of showed its little secret there. It shows how it's going to implement garden a little bit. That's okay. We won't hold it against the game. So at least we know that the garden will be actually bigger blocks of shrubbery, which it should be to be realistic. I'm just surprised that they've already added the some of the mechanics for it already. So far I haven't painted inside. I think this paint's done anymore and I won't be able to sell it. Okay, let's go to the side. This will probably be able to paint more than just the side, but we'll have to get scaffold and a ladder or something to get that little area up there. Yeah, I think that was funny. I don't think, I wonder if they mistakenly left that code in. That just seems like something that they wouldn't have wanted to leave in. I mean, it's not a secret at this point, but just a little odd, I guess. And I'm known for not always drawing in the lines, so as you can see, when you're painting out here, see, you can paint the inside too. That's why I didn't sell all the paint from my internal walls, just in case I paint outside the line, so to speak. I think this color does a good job at making this stand out a little bit without being so bright and offensive. You know, there's one thing that our county is dealing with right now, and I can't understand why it's even an issue. Daryl's Mini Storage, which obviously it's a business where you can rent storage space. They have offered the county land, a number of acres, and offered not only to offer them land, the county land, but offered to build an animal shelter on that land for the county for free. Basically, as a, obviously they can write it off on their taxes, but they're offering this as a, no charge to the county, which is, we're talking from $4 to $5 million minimal value, and we do need a, animal shelter. We need somewhere for the animals, and unfortunately, it's been all tied up because the residents close to those areas, close to where they want to build it, are opposed to it due to noise and all that. But to be honest, it's it's not really in town, but it's kind of sad. It's like, how often is a city or county offered some such things from a company? It doesn't happen often, and if they let this go, you know, if they don't, I don't know. It's kind of hard to really digest. I mean, as a homeowner myself, I can definitely relate to possible concerns, but it's not like they're, you know, wanting to put a farm. You know, the animals will be sheltered inside. Yeah, they would go outside and play, I'm sure, but you know, for the most part, animals would be inside. And I'm just kind of beside myself, thinking that the county might ruin this opportunity, or might have to, you know, forego the offer, kindly decline, as it's better known. So, wonder what happens to that land if the county turns it down. I mean, it's not within the city limits, so they can't really go to Fresno City. So I'm not sure how that's gonna work. Okay, one more side, and then we have to get a ladder or something to reach the higher area. I think this was a good choice in color. Might be you know, it's kind of strange. Before we could paint that right there without a problem. Now it's just out of reach. So basically they're forcing you to use a ladder or something, even on a single story. So, gonna have to end the stream here soon. It is, and yesterday I went 7 hours, which really took a lot out of me. It's kind of sad, a sad fact, but with my disability, I get tired fairly easily. And in the past, when I've had long streams, I've come down sick for a few days. Not exactly sure why. So we're gonna finish painting the outside, and probably end with that. I like to finish this, but I like to keep healthy too. Everything with moderation, as they say. Yeah, I think we've made it. Uh-oh. Yep. I'm gonna need that paint inside. I knew it. Let me go fix that real fast. Okay, so we're gonna need a ladder to fix this stuff. Yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. Now don't ask me how I got my roller in there. Okay, there we go. So let's paint the outside. Let's finish the higher elevation. There we go. All you gotta do is just touch it there. Okay, so let's see. I think is the regular ladder. I'm hoping a regular ladder will work for what we need. I don't think we need to buy the whole scaffolding thing just to do this. Wait, what was that? Okay, yeah, that might, and of course this paints up a little unrealistically. Okay, now the longer you keep this ladder, the less you get back on, well, on some of them. This one seems to hold the value better. Okay, we need by the front door basically. Now I wonder if we can just put it sideways. Okay. Now, how is this gonna work? I might need to buy scaffolding for this. Kind of seems like it'd be a waste, however. Whoops. Well. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's legit. Hey, it's not my rules. Yeah, that wasn't as realistic as I would have hoped. But we didn't cheat. Okay. Actually, yeah, what is, there we go. Hopefully we didn't. Okay, so is that it? Let me just make sure and then we can sell the paint. Okay, actually I need to go sell that ladder. I know the scaffolding, the longer you keep it, the less you get. I'm not sure about the, oh, we used up that paint. Say when you use it all up, you don't get anything for it. Okay, so we're gonna sell the paint. Did we already sell the paint up here? Yeah. So, we need to, we still need to finish the kitchen. Well, we need to get started on the kitchen. We're just gonna go in this way. The bathrooms are done. Storage room. We need to stock the storage room. We need to put a table or desk or something here. We need to set up the kitchen. Now I'm thinking, just real quick, I'm thinking we'll, instead of going with this electric stove, I'm thinking about buying gas burners and putting it in a countertop. We are going to need ovens though, obviously. So hopefully this kitchen is large enough to have a number of ovens, maybe an island, I'm not sure. And I'm not sure what to do as far as tables. Let me just look at tables while we're here. See if there's a style that kind of we need a style that kind of you know, stands out. We could go for this around. I mean, that's possible. We're going to have several different types of tables. You're going to want something like this for bigger groups. Let's see, I forget, does this have benches? It's too bad. Yep. Yeah, it's not what I had in mind. I believe there is something we can use to make kind of a table that, with benches across the wall or something. I'm trying to think how we do that. It might be under chairs. Let me see. Yeah, we could maybe do, well, this says footrest though. But to be honest, let me see. I'm just gonna try this for a moment. Let's see. Against the wall. Let's see, is that? Let me get a table. Because that says footrest, but let's get a regular sized table. I just want to see if it looks too low. The problem with the furniture, you know what? That doesn't look too bad. The only thing is you can have that window sill. So I might have to put this over here against this wall. So yeah, even though it just says it's a footrest, it really looks like it should work with this kind of table. Let me just see. Actually, here's a good way to figure this out. Let's get a regular chair. Let's compare the height. So let's get a nice, let's see. I want to see how much lower that. Yeah, it might be too low. Actually, no, I think that is passable for I think that should be acceptable. I mean, the elevation difference is really a no, it's really not a non-issue, in my opinion. So we can have this against here. Now you don't want it too close because you want your guests so this is basically, I don't know about the table though. It's not bad, I suppose. So what we're gonna think what doing is something like this. And yeah, I'm not sure about that table itself. And seal lamp. Let's see. We want something. Chandelier's a little too. Maybe this. There's not many choices, are there? Let's see. Ooh, bright. Don't know about the orange. And of course, the way you fix the light situation. Remember, there's a rule when it comes to this game. And I think this is going to be my last, the last thing I do. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna make those match. I'm not sure about the table, to be honest. There's an interesting kind of rule in this game. Now, we just turn that on. Actually, I think I got these, well, they don't quite match, so yeah. Now, I've got this set. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna back into here. Yeah, there's a rule in this game that's kind of interesting. That, now see, we have to, okay, so that's set that way. Now, just to prove a point, I'm gonna put a few of these across. Now they're not gonna be straight, so don't have a hissy fit. This is for demonstration purposes only. Okay, so now we got that. Man, that light is just so bright. So we have that light. They all turn off now. Okay, now let's see. Okay, so you can use this. Actually, let me go across this way. I'm going to be taking it down before we end. But just to make a point. Okay. Now, we've essentially made another room. And as you can see, the classification, see right now is 73 and then 21. And as you can see, that light, these lights come on once you get in here. So you could put a solid wall up as well. So that's one thing you have to get used to with this game. And watch, as soon as I knock one out, it changes the rules. So as soon as there's any kind of connection between a room, between two areas, the game changes. So that's the one thing, and that's the one complaint I have about this game. And we've actually, Pi has watched me as I've made these kind of tried to make these look more decorative, making them look like beams. Um, I wish they were 1/3 the height of this. What we have done, I'll show you real quickly, and then that's going to be it. Let me see. I think it's a wall panel. Or is it wall? No, it's wall panels. Which one were we using? I think it was this one. So, let me just show real quickly. This might not be the right one. But what we were doing is, yeah, well, that's not the right one. Yeah, I want to show what the correct system. Because that's going the wrong way. I think it's this one here. Yeah. So, let me just stick this up here and wash it. Don't tell me I have to use that up. Yeah, I did. So, what I did is just picture this all the way across. Yeah, I'm not a big panel fan myself. So basically, ignore the ends because just kind of picture that this is going all the way across. Use your imagination. That's what, when you watch my streams, especially when it comes to this, I really kind of require people to have a good imaginations. But just picture this going all the way across. It ends up being like a beam going across. And that's the kind of creative way we were able to separate the different rooms, because it's really important as far as the AI, your kitchen, your living room, your at times even your dining room. They need to be separated, and this is the easiest way to give separation and yet still kind of have that open concept. So yeah, if only this was like maybe cut off right here, like 1/3 or 1/4, it would be even better. So I hope eventually they do take that into consideration. So it is what it is. So we're gonna end with that for now. I'm not sure I like this light, to be honest. It's just so, I don't know, it's too bright. Let me just, one last thing. Let me just see if there's something less, well, we have this. Actually, maybe like a nice blue. Let me see. Oh, that's still bright. Not as bright, but let me move this over and see if it's really worth it. It's not over all the way. That's better, actually. The other one was like looking into the sun or something. Let me see. It still needs over, but you get the idea. Now, another thing that's really pretty nice about this, notice the shadow. I mean, the chair, the shadow effect is, they took the time. Yeah, hey, it's always good to see you, Pi. I'm glad you're doing well, and it's always great to see you. But, just one last note as far as this is, it's really, it's the fine details like a simple shadow that turns a game from being good to above that, to being almost great. Visually, this game is remarkable. You get the daylight coming from the windows. Actually, without doing that, let me just turn off the light. I mean, you get, certain times of day you get the reflection, even from mirrors. But yeah, even on the floor, you can kind of see the reflection. I mean, it's just incredible how much detail they put into this game. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye for now. I will be posting my schedule for next week on Twitch, and I'm not sure if this has put my link up. I don't think it has it? I think my links are broken. So, yeah, I haven't figured out a way to put information like links on YouTube yet. Yeah, that's just Twitch and that. I don't know where my Twitter thing is. So, I will be posting my schedule later today. I can say Monday it'll be a 10:30 a.m. start time, my time. I will be off Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday through Saturday, 5:30 a.m. start time Pacific, and I might stream again 5:30 a.m. Sunday. So that's my schedule for this next week as it stands right now. So with that, I'd like to thank everyone who has stopped by. I appreciate you taking the time and visiting, saying hi, giving input. Input is always welcome. And I'm going to see who I can... let's see who I can host on the Twitch side of my stream. But as I always say, try playing the game the way you're playing it, then you're playing the game the way you should play it. The only exception to that rule is when you're playing a multiplayer game, you should play by the game rules. Don't use trainers, don't use cheats, don't find ways to trick the system. Play honestly when you're online playing with others. In single player, hey, do whatever you feel you want to do. Just remember, multiplayer, every person that is on those servers playing the game with you spent as much money or more for their game, and they did not buy the game to be your entertainment. They bought the game so they could be entertained and be challenged, be fairly challenged. So just keep that in mind. So until next time, have a great remainder of your Sunday. Remember, don't drink and drive. And please be kind to each other. Life is too short, and the world is too small to do otherwise. So until next time, thanks for watching. God bless, and we will see you next time. Goodbye for now.